Hi everyone, Dave here back with another video, and we recently hit 30 subscribers, which is crazy. And I know that sounds sarcastic, but it's really not. 30 is kind of a good size number. It's kind of a big number, at least in my eyes, when I'm uploading videos and thinking that like nobody's gonna watch them. In fact, I just kind of upload stuff because I like doing it. But now we're at 30 subscribers, and I like to think of that, subtle plug. I do stand up, and I think about it like performing to a room of 30 people. For me, that's a decent sized number. And that's like 30 people came across my channel, said, "Hey, I like what this guy's doing," and subscribed, or saw my manga collection video and subscribed off of that, which I totally understand because those videos are usually pretty popular. But I thought in honor of this, I would give you guys my 30 favorite manga and anime because I watch a lot of anime, I read a lot of manga. I figured I'd give you 15 anime that I love, 15 manga that I love, and we'll go from there. So today, or I'm going to do both videos today, but in this video, I'm going to give you my 15 favorite anime as of April 16th, 2022, because there's a lot that I want to see and there's a lot that I haven't finished. So that could easily change my number, or my list rather. So this admittedly is in no particular order. I have my charter here, which has every anime I've ever watched, at least the ones that I can remember. So I'm just going to kind of read through and tell you 15 that I think are amazing. So this admittedly might be a longer video. Apologies if I ramble. That's kind of how I am. So sit back, relax. I don't really have anything to show you guys. I'm just going to talk for however long this video is. So grab a snack, play a game, read a book while you're listening to this in the background. And also, who knows? I've been told I have kind of a boring voice. Listen to this while you go to sleep. Get some ASMR action out of it. I don't care. Yeah, let's get to it. So just scanning down my list. First off is Dragon Ball. Classic anime. I think a lot of people will say that it was their first big anime, the thing that got them into anime, and rightfully so. I mean, it's a great series. The original Dragon Ball is, I'm gonna split them up because I have different feelings about each iteration of Dragon Ball. The original Dragon Ball series is the best iteration, has the best characters, has the best not only character development but plot development. I think that's when Goku is at his most likable, is when he's a child and a young adult. Instead of turning into a meathead fighter guy. If you guys have seen my top 5 most overrated characters video, I kind of go a little in depth as to why I'm not the biggest fan of Goku at this point. But it's got great turnaround. Its plots pay off. I guess a spoiler warning for this and for any other anime I may talk about, but like when Krillin dies, that was such a kicker because it was something that you kind of saw coming, but at the same time, like it still paid off in Goku's rage, and after losing his best friend, really builds up. And Dragon Ball is just such a great anime. Great villains. It's Dragon Ball. I mean, there's not much else I can really say about it. Dragon Ball Z would be, I guess, number 2. If I'm allowed to split them up, I'll put Dragon Ball Z here, because I feel like it's different enough. It starts to really delve into otherworldly events because at that point, we had gotten that King Piccolo's like a demon or whatever, and I think we'd gotten some brief instances of stuff that's not on Earth. But Dragon Ball Z really took it up a notch by being like, hey, by the way, this guy that you've been following for years or however long, he's an alien. And and there's a whole universe full of people that want to kill this dude, and want to attack Earth. So I really opened the doors, and it was really, Dragon Ball Z, I think, was pretty solid. A lot of people don't like the Buu arc. I didn't hate it. I think it introduced some new characters, introduced some new elements and plot points that would be expanded upon in further Dragon Ball iterations. But yeah, I think Dragon Ball Z, very solid anime. Again, even more so than Dragon Ball, is probably the thing that got a lot of people into anime. So even if you look back on it now and realize it wasn't that great, I still think it gets some brownie points for basically kind of really kicking off the anime movement here in the West. Because that thing was everywhere. Dragon Ball Z was everywhere. um, so next, I might come back to that. I want to see. I didn't. I'm just kind of going through my charter as I said. So we're just gonna go until we get 15, and then if I want to come back to other ones, I'll come back to that. Give you guys a few bonus anime. Next, let's touch on My Hero Academia. This is one that I admittedly haven't caught up with, but it was an anime that from the second I started watching it, I fell in love with. I think superhero stuff um, is such a smart thing to make a show about. It's so accessible. People know superheroes, people get superheroes, people understand superheroes. And I think just the superhero anime is such a smart idea. It's got really well done characters, very cool plot points, very interesting fights, interesting powers. It may be a little basic in some instances and in some storylines, but at the end of the day, it's a shonen. You're there for the combat, you're there for the action, and I think My Hero delivers that in spades. A lot of these so far have been pretty popular anime. So you really don't need me telling you how good Dragon Ball is or how good My Hero is, but I figured I'd touch on it because they are my favorites and they are that good for a reason. Um, Next, just because we're in the same vein, let's touch on One Punch Man. One Punch Man is excellent. One Punch Man, like I said, all the same things apply with My Hero, with superheroes. Again, very accessible. One Punch Man is actually, if you're looking to get into anime, I wholeheartedly think that One Punch Man is probably the best anime to get into. It's not overly serious to my recollection. There's not much fan servicey moments that'll kind of turn people off. It's hysterical, and everyone loves to laugh. I think laughing is just something that everyone can agree is pretty good, is pretty fun to do. And, One Punch Man delivers the jokes in spades. So my computer turned off here, and that's going to bug me. Sorry. So, yeah, I think it's a great starter anime and also just one of my favorites. It's hilarious. It's got, some good plot points that pay off. And again, like I said, very accessible. Superheroes, you get it. Uh, so yeah, how many is that? That's 4. This may be harder than I thought to narrow it down to 15. All right, Haiku. Haiku is awesome. I started it not really knowing much about volleyball, not even really liking volleyball that much. I saw, wow, volleyball anime. My buddy and I watched it like as a goof, like thinking like, okay, this is gonna be just some silly whatever. And then next thing I knew, we were like 8 episodes in, and we were like, this thing is awesome. The show is so good. I got these haiku keycaps that unfortunately don't work with my keyboard, but I kept them because they're so awesome. I'm dropping them. But anyway, yeah, Haiku is awesome. The characters are great. It's not like most shows you can look at one character and be like, yeah, that they didn't really write that character well, or that character's kind of dead weight. Yeah, I don't think you can really say that about any character on Haiku. Even like the secondary team members all have some sort of moment where they kind of shine, or at least help the plot or help the main characters in some capacity. And the thing about Haiku is even the bad guys really aren't bad guys. They're just opponents. They're just, the antagonist. And one thing I always say about sports anime that is so interesting to me is when you get something like, we'll just use Dragon Ball as an example, Frieza trying to end the world. That's like a big deal. And then you shrink that down to a sports anime, and everything seems kind of trivial in comparison. But then when you look at it, you're like, wait a minute. If they lose this game, that is their world, and it'll shatter. And I find that super interesting just as a big sports fan, because that's kind of how sports can be sometimes. I love the camaraderie. I love the brotherhood. It makes me really regret not at least trying sports in high school. If I could look back and get some of those moments, some of those friendship, that brotherhood type camaraderie and moments, that a show like Haiku brings, I think that would have been cool. But again, Haiku is great. A lot of great characters, a lot of funny moments, a lot of badass moments, and at the end of the day, it's volleyball. So you look at it and you're like, what? Really? Volleyball? Yeah, volleyball. Volleyball be about that. Volleyball be about that life. Yeah. So next, I'm gonna touch on Toriko. Toriko, I think, is super underrated. If I had to pitch it in a nutshell, basically, I feel like elements of Monster Hunter. Well, it's basically like anime Monster Hunter. I would say, mixed with some elements of Dragon Ball and some elements of One Piece. Toriko is such an interesting anime. It is an anime about food that's not about people just orgasming all the time. Thank you, Food Wars. I appreciate that. I can't watch that anywhere. Um, but anyway, Toriko's fun. It's a good adventure. It's like if you want a show that just makes you feel like I want to go travel like that, it's Toriko. Now, some of the locations they go to aren't locations that I personally would want to travel to, uh, but it envelops that One Piece ideal of adventure, of just going with your homies and just doing stuff. And also, it's a show that you need to just like order a pizza before you start watching it because you will be hungry by the end. Some of the dishes that they create look so good, and I wish that they were real because I want to eat them. I think the voice acting is good. I think the characters are great. A lot of fun action too. I haven't even touched on the action. I think some of the coolest fights in anime. I think Toriko's got a really unique power set, even though it kind of boils down to just strong, but they still find a way to make that interesting and enjoyable. Um, so yeah, Toriko I think is very solid, very underrated. I don't hear enough people talking about Toriko, so I wanted to let you guys know, and it is one of my favorites. Let's run through the list here. I don't want to miss anything. Okay, right here. Free. Specifically Free Eternal Summer, I think was my favorite season of Free. Dive to the Future was kind of a letdown, but they kind of set up season 4, so I'll give them a pass. And really, if you were to watch Dive to the Future on its own, I mean, I wouldn't, because you really wouldn't get it, because like the characters are all like doing their own thing and have all progressed through these seasons. But like if you took Dive to the Future and compared it to some other anime, it would be okay. But compared to Free and especially Eternal Summer, it's like kind of mid, as the kids say. But Eternal Summer specifically and Free are great. It's a swimming anime. It's about growing up. It's about friendship. It's about teamwork. I love me some sports anime, so there's probably going to be a few more sports shows here. But with it being multiple seasons, you really grow with these characters, and they tackle themes that are prevalent in most sports shows, but they also tackle themes of growing up, which I think a lot of people can relate to. These characters go through high school together, and then they go off to college, and two of the friends have another year of high school, and then two of the friends go to college. So it's like, okay, how do we deal with that? On an emotional level, not being able to like swim with your homies anymore, or at least, comparing it to, maybe not being able to swim anymore. Especially how I felt when I grew up was like, okay, I can't see my homies every day now. Like, we can't just go to school together and hang out and stuff anymore, which is unfortunate. And, it's something that the show I think handles very well. And the swimming, the action in the swim and the swimming is really fun. All the characters introduced, some of them you hate, some of them you love to hate, but they're all really well written and they all service the plot, except Ikuya. Is that how you pronounce his name? That dude is just the Haruko over again. Like, he's just the same guy. but that's from Dive to the Future. That's different. But I highly recommend Free, and especially Eternal Summer. You could theoretically watch Eternal Summer by itself. I would recommend watching Free first because it's chronological, but I watched the first few episodes of Eternal Summer and not even knowing that there was a first season. And then they kind of started talking about stuff, and I was like, oh, wait, I should go check that out. But yeah, love Free. Very, very good anime. Next, another one I adore is Girls und Panzer. That is just like Girls und Panzer is an anime that you see and you're like, what is this? And then you watch it and you're like, oh, okay, no, I get it. It's awesome. It's basically an all-girls academy where they drive tanks and they have tank battles. It's the craziest thing in the world, but it's also so it's adorable just because it's these funny, just really funny, like the writing is really good. It's these just really funny girls driving these Hulk tank machines, and it's a very interesting dichotomy of delicate but also fierce, because you've got war, but then you've got cute anime girls or whatever. But the writing is good, the comedy's good, very funny anime. It's pretty short, a little too short, honestly. I wish it was a little longer. I believe there's a movie as well. I did see, yeah, there is, because I watched it. I don't know what I'm talking about, but a really interesting subplot with the main character and her sister kind of being this really already accomplished like tank commander, and then I think their mom is also some really like important tank person. So it's just a cool plot alongside of a very sweet, charming, funny anime. So Girls und Panzer is another one I recommend. How many is that so far? I don't want to lose count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Let me just quickly run through here and mark out 9. I just want to mark out more so I don't. 10, 11, 12, 13. We're getting down to it. We're getting down to the final cuts here. 14 and 15. Yeah, I think that's good. All right, so let's finish up that, and then I will give you guys a few honorable mentions because there's so much amazing anime out there that I would be remiss if I didn't mention it all. Okay. And I feel like I'm going to record this entire video and then forget something and be like, no, why didn't I mention insert anime here? And I really am going to hate myself for that. But I'm scanning my list. I'm trying to make sure that there's nothing that I'm missing, which I already realized there is. So you guys are already getting 16. So if that 17, if this does not deserve your subscription, 18, I don't know what will. Okay. I'm doing nothing. I'm telling you guys about anime you probably already know. I should have just gone through my entire list, honestly. You guys deserve all the love in the world, and I want to give it to you consensually. That was stupid. I don't know why I said that. I'm sorry. But I'm just adding more anime, and I'm just trying to fill the dead air so this isn't just me just reading shit or stuff. I'm trying not to cuss as much. But okay, I think we've got the big ones. So right now I'm counting like 20 something. So you're getting a few extra ones. Okay, let's move on here. So before we forget, I just want to jump back to my first page. My favorite anime. This is all like, my favorite, but this is one. Everything else could be tied for second. Yu Yu Hakusho. Yu Yu Hakusho is my favorite anime of all time. It is funny. The characters have development. The fights are awesome. The plot points are super interesting. The settings and locations. This show will take you from a traditional Japanese high school to an inner city to the demon realm to just everywhere. It'll take you around the map. It'll take you around the known universe. So it's very diverse. That's the word I'm looking for. In its set pieces and in its scenery and in its stuff. Yusuke Urameshi is one of my favorite anime characters of all time. He's super well written. He's hilarious. He's the king of comebacks. I've seen that post. You guys have probably seen that post. Like, who's the best trash talker? Like him, Vegeta, some other characters. It is 100% Yusuke. Yusuke does not shut up. Yusuke will roast the hell out of you and will make you feel bad about yourself. Kuwabara is such a great character. His arc from just kind of street punk to like a guy who genuinely cares about his homies to by the end of the show, they kind of did him dirty at the end of the show by kind of forgetting about him for the last arc, which is a little, is my only knock on the show, is that the last arc felt a little rushed, but even with that, it was still a good arc. It just was a little rushed, but he goes from all that to being a guy who genuinely cares about his studies and wants to get into a good school. And I think that's super interesting. That's more art, plot development than other anime have in them. I think Kurama has a great backstory. Hiei has a great backstory. All these characters really, have these awesome stories that all weave together and all service the plot well. Genkai's a great character. Botan's a great character. The whole spirit detective thing is super interesting and something that kept me engaged throughout the entire show's run. It's an amazing show. I think a lot of people say, well, it just becomes a tournament anime, so it's still good. The fights are awesome. So if the fights are awesome, then who cares if most of it is fighting? But that's not even true. So I don't know why people say that, because a lot of it is not just tournament anime. It's not just fighting. There's, like I said, a lot of character development, a lot of interesting stuff. Yu Yu Hakusho is one that I recommend to everybody because it is severely underrated in my opinion. I think it's super slept on. I don't hear enough people talk about it. It's an amazing show. Next, just from one extreme to the next, Fairy Tail. I know a lot of people hate on Fairy Tail. It's super fan servicey, but there's something about it I just can't help but like. Maybe it is the simplicity. Maybe it's just simple, and it's a good show to watch and turn your brain off. I do like, people hate on, the power of friendship saves the day yet again. I get it. I do get it. But, again, I love my friends. I like, camaraderie in my anime. I like people getting along. I like characters having fun interactions. So, yeah, I mean, again, Fairy Tail isn't for everybody. I understand, but it is one of my favorites. I gotta be honest with you. Next is The Devil's a Part-Timer. This one kind of didn't really take me by surprise because I thought it was a funny concept. The devil working at basically what is McDonald's. But it definitely surprised me with how much I enjoyed it. I think I watched the whole thing in like a day, which, speaking of which, I forgot to add another one to my list, but I'm sorry. Yes. Let me just get this thought out here. Honorable mention: Odd Taxi. Watch Odd Taxi. I made a video about it. I won't reiterate my point. Odd Taxi is another great anime. Quickly became one of my favorites. That's another one that I watched entirely over the course of like a day. But anyway, back to Devil's a Part-Timer. Being someone that worked in the retail and food service industry, seeing those funny plot points of like, dealing with traditional stuff that happens in those sort of environments made me laugh. I could appreciate it, and I'm sure a lot of y'all can appreciate it as well. But also just the fact that he is also the devil is just really funny. It gets a little fan servicey at times. The spin-off manga I am reviewing right now I'll get the video up soon. It's kind of boring. I'm not gonna lie to you, but this is about the anime. This isn't about the manga. Um, but yeah, it's a good show. Um, I hear supposed to be a season two. We'll see what happens there. But yeah. Next is Gun Sword or Gun X Sword. This one, honestly, upon rewatch, isn't the best, but it was one of my first anime. Honestly, at least one of the first anime that I watched all the way through, so it has a special place in my heart. It's pretty interesting. If you like mech anime, it's got some mech stuff in there. Cool like mix of kind of Western and sci-fi. Not necessarily like steampunk, but just kind of Western elements, and then you know sci-fi mech stuff in there. So it's cool. It's got a good plot and a good buildup of the main character searching for this guy who killed his wife, called the Claw, and that good buildup of like, oh, who is this guy? Oh, are they ever gonna find him? And I gotta level with you. The payoff is a tad underwhelming at first, but then it kind of brings it back around and kind of ends all these characters and ends their stories in kind of a cool way. So yeah, I would recommend Gunsword. I feel like it's pretty solid. Next we had Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer is awesome. Good fights, good art direction, really good story. I don't really need to go on about Demon Slayer because I'm sure you guys have already seen it. It's awesome. The movie was great. I reviewed the movie as well. Shameless plug. But yeah, really good. Next, we got Kuroko's Basketball. I love basketball. I love sports. I love sports anime. It's solid. Good characters. Good, good action. It builds up these storylines very well. It, gives. I don't know. It just makes. Basketball's already a very high adrenaline, high like emotional sport. And it somehow manages to take it up a notch. It somehow manages to make it even more crazy and even more unhinged. And yeah, I think it's cool. I don't really have a whole lot to say about Kuroko's Basketball. I just think it's a very solid anime, and I like it a lot. Golden Kamui is the next one I want to talk about. This one is really cool. This one is a really interesting concept. I think it's just, again, a lot of these I may not have the most amount of stuff to say about them, but I just think they're solid. I just think they're really good. And I started reading the manga and then started watching the anime. And I think the setting is great. I'm a big fan of history, so a nice like kind of, it's not like a historical setting in the sense of like it taking place like a million years ago, but it being in kind of this when is it set? Like I think it's pre World War One. So being around there, like 1800s, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. Maybe a little bit after that. I don't know. But I think the story is really interesting. Everybody's hunting for this map to find this treasure, but the map is like dude's skin, so it can be very very brutal. It's definitely not an anime that you want to watch if you're eating, or I guess maybe it is because it is similar to Toriko, which funnily enough, both main characters of these shows are both played by Ian Sinclair, I believe is his name. So that's kind of fun. But they both deal heavily with food. Golden Kamuy has a lot of fun food moments, and it really teaches you a lot about the Ainu people. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, but the Ainu, their customs and cultures. And again, as a history guy, I find that super enjoyable, and that makes for a really fun addition to the show. Is not only is it a fun action, fun thriller, but you also learn something, which I know sounds kind of lame, but it actually is just super interesting. So again, great characters, great plot points, great moments. I feel like I keep saying that a lot, but I'm a big fan of story and I'm a big fan of well-written characters. So a lot of my favorite anime are going to have those same things. So I apologize if that sounds like I'm reiterating myself, but that's just the anime I enjoy. Um, so yeah, um, Golden Kamuy, really fun thriller. Very Indiana Jones esque, I guess, like a bloody Indiana Jones. If you want to think about it that way. Yeah. Next up, we have Cheer Boys. This is an anime that I really didn't expect much from, but honestly, it became one of my favorites. Cheer Boys is so funny, charming. Just, it's one of those wholesome anime that you watch and you're just like, just giddy. You're just like, oh, I love my Cheer Boys. Like by the end, I'm like rooting for these guys like they're my homies. Like, yeah, Cheer Boys, get that shiz. Try not to cuss. Try not to cuss. But I'm like, yeah, boys, get in there. And again, it's funny. These characters start an all male cheer squad, and they all like, one by one, learn how to cheer, become friends through the process. And again, I love a sports anime. I love a show with good camaraderie and good friendship, and it's a very charming show. And again, a very short show, unfortunately, because I would have liked more of it. But it's a show that really you can get into and watch it in an afternoon or in a few days, depending on how you watch things. Next, we have Skate the Infinity. I love skateboarding. I'm not good at it. I've tried. I'm terrible. But I appreciate the art. I think skateboarding is so cool. And the fact that there's a skate anime is sick. Um, yeah, it's awesome. It's just sick. It's just a sick show. You watch it and you're like, oh, damn, that was awesome. Like, just like you would watch normal skateboarding. Like, even if you don't quite understand skateboarding, you could still look at it and be like, oh, damn, that was awesome. And it's the same thing with Skate the Infinity. Um, I feel my voice starting to run a little thin here, so I'm trying to finish up. Next, we got Ghost Stories. So, probably the funniest anime ever. Um, and that's 100% the dub. I mean, this is a show. I'm a dub guy. I know I'm losing some weeb credibility there, but again, I always say if I want to read, I would just read the manga. I enjoy dub because I can just watch it. But I think anyone on either side of the debate, I think we can all agree that the dub of Ghost Stories is highly superior to the sub, because it is so hilarious. They just got this show and they were like, what if we just made this not at all what it was? It's basically like rated R, not maybe not rated R, but like PG-13 Scooby-Doo. Like, these kids have some of the most foul mouths I have ever seen and say the craziest things, and it's all under the guise of like, hey, there are these spooky monsters and we gotta stop them. Like, it's so funny. It's a show that you will just laugh your ass off watching, and it's just really solid. I mean, it's not anything with crazy deep plots. The Most of the episodes are usually an open and shut case. But if you're going to watch Ghost Stories, you're going to watch it for the comedy. It's a great turn off your brain anime. It's a great just, I want to sit here and I want to just laugh my ass off anime. It's fantastic. Another good entry point to anime because, again, it's pretty short. Not a lot of through plots and overarching stories that you need to follow. It's just, again, comedy at its finest, in my opinion. Next, and our last one is Jujutsu Kaisen. JJK has been taking over the world lately, especially with the movie that came out a while back. I reviewed Jujutsu Kaisen and I reviewed the movie, so I won't go too in depth because you could check out those other videos if you want to hear my full thoughts. But I love Jujutsu Kaisen. It is a show that I've heard great things about, and I finally got around to watching and was pleasantly surprised. Like, I knew it would be good, but I was surprised with how good it was and how much I personally enjoyed it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, a lot of this stuff I might have covered already, so if you want to check the channel and see. A few honorable mentions: Life Lessons with Urmi Chioni-san. Nichijou, number 24. It's a rugby anime. What else? Tiger and Bunny. That's a pretty good one, and it's getting a season 2. Yuri Lowenthal's in it. He's my favorite voice actor, so that's pretty good. Kill la Kill, very funny anime. Mob Psycho 100, hilarious anime. A lot of these are ones that you guys probably know of. Yuri on Ice, Big Wind Up. Stars Align. This is a very short anime about soft tennis. But yet the sports part of it almost takes a back seat. These characters, it tackles a lot of really interesting themes. Well, sometimes pretty dark themes. And the way that it's able to squeeze all that into 13 episodes, I think. Maybe it might be like 24. It's kind of short. But it wraps all these characters' stories up nicely. It's really interesting. It's if you want a good show with like good character development, I would recommend Stars Align. A lot of good stories there. A lot of interesting stories. 91 Days is a good kind of mafia anime. Pretty fun, pretty good story as well. After School Dice Club was a fun, charming anime. Nothing crazy, but just like a fun anime about girls that play board games together and have this after school board game club. It's cute, it's charming, it's fun. It's a nice slice of life anime. I do love me some slice of life stuff. Yeah, that might be all I have for right now. There are some other ones on here, but most of it is stuff you guys have probably already heard of. So that's, I think, at least 20. So you guys got some extra, but you deserve it because all have been so nice. I've gotten some wonderful, wonderful comments. And obviously, even just a view or a subscription means the world to me. So thank you guys so very, very much for 30 subscribers. Again, it means so much. Next video, which I was going to film today, but my throat's getting a little sore. And the first game of the USFL season kicks off in a few hours. So I kind of want to watch that. So I may film the other video tomorrow. So happy Easter also, if you guys celebrate Easter. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Next video coming up is my 15 and probably a few extra favorite manga. And then that way it'll be 30. I mean, over 30, but you get the point. So yeah, again, thank you so much. I know this video was rambly, but that's what I do. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you got something out of it. If you guys heard of an anime that I talked about and have seen it yourself, let me know. I want to hear your thoughts. Or if you heard something for the first time, let me know as well. I would love to be the person that turns somebody on to like Toriko or to Cheer Boys or something. Or even a Yu Yu Hakusho. Again, it's my favorite. My boys are right over there. Right there. It's my favorite. Please watch Yu Yu Hakusho. If you take anything away from anything on this video, is watch Yu Yu Hakusho. Okay, that's it for right now. Thank you guys again so very, very much. I will see you in the next one. Peace.